Good day, this is Erdy John Argolgiano and I will be discussing to you the parts of a sentence. Now, you only need to remember two things or two parts of a sentence. Number one, that is the subject, and number two, that is the predicate. Well, the subject, in every sentence, it has a complete subject and a predicate. The complete subject tells whom or what the sentence is about. For example, you have the house, the red car, or the great teacher. As you can notice, you will have mostly your subjects are nouns. So you have here the house, the red car, and you also have the great teacher. Next up, we have the predicate. The second part of a sentence is the predicate. It tells what the subject is or does. For example, the house is white, the car is fast, or the great teacher likes students. Now, in a complete sentence, you have the house, the car, the teacher. Those are your subjects. And you also have is white, is blue, likes her students as your predicate. It comprises the entire sentence. This is an example of a simple sentence. Now let's differentiate a phrase to a clause. Now in clauses, we have two. We have main clause or independent clause. We also have subordinate clause or the dependent one. Main clause, the formula for making a main clause is you have the subject plus the verb and it has a complete thought. Examples are lazy students whine. So you have students as your subject, you also have whine as your verb. Cola spilled over the glass and splashed onto the counter. So you have cola as the subject and you have spilled and splashed as your verbs. Basically, if you read this clause, it is a complete simple sentence. You have the subject and you also have the verb and it has a complete thought. Another example is my dog loves pizza crust. So you have dog as your subject and you also have loves as your verb. Next type of clause is the subordinate clause or the dependent clause. Here is the formula. You have the subordinating conjunction plus the subject verb plus plus subject plus verb. And you equals incomplete thought because most subordinate clause doesn't have a complete thought. Next up, here are some examples. Whenever lazy students whine, you have the subordinating conjunction which is whenever. You also have students as your subject and you have whine as your verb. Now when you read this one, when you write this one in a simple sentence, it won't make sense because it is not complete. As cola spilled over the glass and splashed onto the counter. As you have the subordinating conjunction here, and cola as your subject and spilled and splashed as your verbs. Now, third example, because my dog loves pizza crust. You have because equals, that is the subordinating conjunction. You also have the dog as your subject and you have loves as the verb. Again, when you encounter this particular clause, you will know by the presence of a subordinating conjunction plus the subject and here goes your verb. And it doesn't have a complete thought. That's why it doesn't make sense. Let us take note that when you use a subordinate clause and form it into a simple sentence, you will have a grammatical error and that is called as the fragment. Subordinating clauses become fragments without the clause or the main clause or the independent clause because basically you don't make sense if you make the subordinating clause as your simple sentence. That's why you need the main clause or the independent clause. Next up is the phrases. A phrase is two or more words that do not contain the subject-verb pair necessary to form a clause. It is just a group of words. It can be very short or quite long. Let's have example. Let's proceed to the run-on sentence. Now look at the two sentences below. Which is the run-on? Is it the first sentence or the second one? Okay, let's try to correct that. A run-on is when two independent clauses are put together as a single sentence incorrectly. Now, how do we fix run-on? You fix them by adding a coordinating conjunction and comma, adding a period, or adding a semicolon. Again, remember, coordinating conjunction, you have the fanboys, as in FANBOYS. It stands for F for A for and, N for nor, B for but, O for or, Y for yet, and S for so. Let us go back to the following examples. So which of them is a run-on? Yep, that's right. It's the second sentence. I am bored, comma, grammar is tedious. Let us know why it is a run-on. So you have two independent clauses here. There are two clauses, main clause, which has their own sense or meaning. Now you are joining them incorrectly by the use of a comma. I am bored, comma, grammar is tedious. So how do you correct this one? You will use a coordinating conjunction. Again, you have the fanboys, as in FAN, and boys, as in for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. So you have here the coordinating conjunction and. I am bored and grammar is tedious. You can also use a semicolon here. I am bored, semicolon, grammar is tedious. Or just end it with a period. I am bored, grammar is tedious. Now here comes the lack of parallelism. This one is very common, especially if you are writing a very long sentence with a lot of nouns. So lack of parallelism can occur when you're using list or series of items. Whenever you are speaking of more than one item, place them all in the same grammatical form. For example, if you are using a noun in a sentence, make sure to use noun all throughout your items in a series. Here. If you're using adjectives, make sure to use adjectives, and if you are using ing as in the gerund form of the verb, make sure to use an ing form of the verb. Let us have the following. Professionals include teachers and people who solve cases. So you have professionals include teachers and people who solve cases. So what makes it wrong? So number one here, you have professionals include teachers. This one is a noun. Teachers is a noun. And you have here a phrase, and people who solve cases. Basically, it is wrong because it is not parallel. So how do you correct the following sentences? So professionals include teachers and lawyers. So if you are using a noun, make sure to use a noun also to the next item in the series. Number one item, number two item. So that's a noun, and you should also use a noun. Another way of correcting this one should be like this. Professionals include people who teach and people who solve cases. Next example. I like swimming, skiing, and to paint. What is the wrong part of the sentence here? Of course, it's this one. You are using an infinitive phrase to paint. So in the other items in the series, you are using a gerund or the ing form of the verb. That's I like swimming, skiing. So the correct form for this item here should be I like swimming, skiing, and painting. Another way to correct this one is you can change the two here into an infinitive phrase. I like to swim, to ski, and to paint. Last example. She's beautiful, comma, and has intelligence too. Although this one is, it sounds like correct or the grammar is correct, but it is not. She's beautiful and has intelligence too. What do you think is the wrong part of the sentence here? Yep, you're correct. You are using again a phrase. She's beautiful and has intelligence too. So this one is wrong. So how do you correct this one? You are going to change it into an adjective. This one is a noun. That's why you are going to change this one into an adjective. She's beautiful and intelligent too. That is the correct way of making it parallel. Okay, let's try. I'm going to let you practice answering the following quiz. Identify the underlined parts of the sentences. Number 1, what is the answer? How about number 2? Number 3. Number 4. You can pause the video for a maximizing of your time. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. And number 10. So let's try to answer and let us see if your answers are correct. Let's proceed to number 1. Before I went to college, I studied English independently. So the underlined part here is what part of a sentence? Is it the subject or the predicate? The answer is, it is a predicate. So you have I as your subject and you have the complete predicate, studied English independently. Next one, wanting to finish work early, Raymond and Terry are what part of the sentence? Is it the subject or the predicate? The answer here is the subject. Number 3, John and Lily caught their bus early in the morning. So in the morning is an example of, that's a phrase, in the morning. You don't see a subject, you don't see a verb, that's why it is just a group of words. Number 4, Martha returned the book to the library when she finished reading it. When she finished reading it is, that's a clause. You have when as your subordinating conjunction. Specifically, this one is an example of a subordinating clause. You have the subordinating conjunction when she finished reading it. That is a clause. When Anne finishes her homework, she will go to a movie. So this one, she will go to a movie, is an example of, right, that's an independent clause. Number 6, who never made a mistake is an example of, that is a dependent clause because you have the subordinating conjunction here, who. What is a fragment? Is it a part of a sentence or a thought of a sentence? The answer here is, fragment is just a part of the sentence because it does not have a complete thought. That's why you call it a fragment. Okay, determine the run-on sentence. Is it the first sentence, the second sentence, or the third one? Answer here is the second sentence. Number 9, determine the unparalleled sentence. Number 1, is it number 2 or number 3? It is number 1. So you have here, I usually cook, clean, and sleeping all day. They are not parallel because you are using a verb here, and you have a gerund here, sleeping. So you should have it like, I usually cook, clean, and sleep all day. Or you can have it as, I am usually cooking, cleaning, and sleeping all day. Last number, which sentence here doesn't use subordination? Remember subordinating clause, subordinating conjunction. So the answer here is sentence number 3. The other two sentences, you have the subordinating conjunction here. You also have the subordinating conjunction here, although they are basically the same. So this one, it is using a period and it has no subordination. Okay, I think that would be all for this session. Yeah. Stay tuned for more lessons in your email and have a great day.